Continuing with some more examples of unconventional PR from the book Traction, you could do something like give away chocolate grasshoppers to influencers. So, ideally, with startup marketing, your branding will center around some sort of mascot or object or animal. Uh, Research has shown that that's perhaps the most distinctive brand element that you can have, especially at the superficial level, as opposed to things like your logo, your color, or your typeface. So, one thing that you could do is you can create some sort of giveaway centered around that mascot. So, something like a chocolate grasshopper bunny, whatever animal represents your brand. So, when you're doing unconventional PR, it can have a very high ROI because you could get tons of ridiculous amounts of publicity from a $5,000 video or from just doing one event at one trade show, and that could have a huge cascade effect, but don't expect them to all be successful. Many are gonna fail, and that's just the reality of how the entertainment business works. When successful companies wanna create blockbuster movies, they don't know which ones are gonna be successful. They have a general idea of what makes for a blockbuster movie, but they have a portfolio. So for every 10 that they release, they expect at least one of them, for example, to be a huge hit and make up for the losses in the other. So that's the way I would think about unconventional PR is do a few and invest heavily in a few, but don't expect them all to be huge successes. So one little trick that was mentioned in this book is creating a video and then mentioning in the video a specific publication that you think would be interested in publishing it. And what that does is it provides an incentive for them to watch the video and be like, "Hey, we mentioned TechCrunch or whatever it is in there. We mentioned your blog. Let's see if you can find it in the video." That'll pique their interest. A cool example of unconventional PR that was mentioned is Chargeify, which was largely unknown at the time. What they did was they hired a stuntman to dress up as their mascot, as a bull, to get people pumped about Chargeify at the South by Southwest conference. And one thing that they did was the bull was driving a Corvette, going around, energizing people. It got so out of hand that eventually the mascot was kicked out of the event, a very expensive event to attend. But the fact that it was kicked out is again, it's more story worthy. So all the drama centered around this was very good in terms of elevating the Chargeify brand. So there are three basic targets that you want to take with unconventional PR, according to the book Traction. Number one is you want to do things that are big, cheap, fun, and original. Things like competitive stunts and viral videos. And also just keep in mind one of the advantages of being a startup is that you can be more original, you can take bigger risks. There's going to be a much more conservative political weight when you're trying to do these types of things as a big company. So don't look to large companies necessarily for ideas like this. You want to look at when companies were very small because that's probably when they're more likely to be bold. Another target, number two, is be awesome to your customers. Things like gifts, contests, amazing customer support. Once again, it's not that the direct ROI is beneficial to focus on existing customers, to focus on retention. It's the publicity, the word of mouth potential that comes from this investment in terms of reaching new customers. That's really where the ROI is. And lastly, prepare for failure. So, as I mentioned with the portfolio strategy, don't just invest heavily in one PR stunt. Have a few, make big, bold bets, but don't expect them all to pay off.